I don't know. I try to do something about the lighting. It might just be my lips. I'm gonna do something about my lips right now. Hold on. So please excuse the last video. Um, I was very emotional because I'm thinking off the top of my head what happened. I didn't even write it down. I just knew that I wanted to discuss what's been going on, especially because I need to clear this off of my mental, what's been going on with me, especially from the last couple of years that I used to be online like all the time, and then I just stopped like opening up with like my life and everything. And the reasons why back then I can easily say is because it's embarrassing, but I shouldn't be embarrassed about my life. Like, sure, things happen to me, but it's really a learning experience. You know, it doesn't define me. It was just a wrinkle in time. And I just hope that it doesn't happen to other people as bad as it happened to me. You know what I mean? So I did isolate myself because, like, not even only from social media, like from everybody, because I felt like everybody was gaslighting me, especially when I was telling them what was going on with me. I felt like they didn't understand why I chose to deal with the stuff that I was dealing with. And it's not that I chose it, it was just my circumstances because of the fact that I was depressed. And unfortunately, it was the easiest kind of outing for like for or from my depression. Like I was able to just relax these kinds of ways, you know. I don't know. I am an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. So if I isolate myself, it's really to recharge, even though I don't have a problem speaking out about how I feel. Like, I guess I'm outgoing until someone takes me having fun as me being slow. That's when all bets are off. My anxiety does play a part in my delay because, like, I don't want to be misunderstood, or I didn't want to be misunderstood. Now I kind of don't care. This is something that I'm doing for me, you know, because I'm done caring in a sense. So this is me literally releasing what's on my heart. It's not for anybody, it's more so for me. And I know a lot of people is thinking like, well, dang, all of this happened to you. Oh my God, you must be, you know, all this and all that. I just feel like my strength is the only reason for all of this. And I just felt like people were just trying to break me down because they saw my strength. So, hmm. I met my ex being a new student at this high school. And I moved to or I came to the high school in the 10th grade. Literally the ending of the 10th grade. It was like February. So, literally, summer is like June or something. Or probably, I don't know. When do school leave? Like it's like May, right? Like May is usually the last kind of classes, and then yeah. So okay, I was saying May. So February, March, April, May. I had 4 months of 10th grade in this new school, and I met my ex. But I met him through my cousin. So I was kind of like, you know, being a new kid, I stayed around my cousin, and so my cousin was friends with him. I didn't hang out with my cousin. I didn't hang out with my cousin, but my cousin hung out with him. I had a class with my cousin, and he was also in a class with my cousin. So, Well, with me and my cousin. So the only person I would talk to in that class was my cousin. And he who sat next to my cousin, and me and my cousin were related through marriage. We're not even like related. So I don't know. I just have a big old family, child. Yeah. My ex was the class clown. So he was not hard to miss. And I felt like he was funny for being a big guy. He was really funny. Anyway, he was huge and he moved around so much as a big guy. And I think that was so funny. Like I like when people like can have fun without other people thinking that they're slow. Like it's funny. I that was one thing. That's the past. But that's one thing that I really like love. Like I love when people like have fun. Anyways. Anyways, that's when I met him, my ex. Anyway, that was in the 10th grade. So after, we graduated, I done joined the army, I done got out. Now I'm a veteran. And when I got out, I ended up running into him from another person that I met. And I already explained it in the last story. I mean in the last video, but I said it kind of like rushed, so I don't think you got it. But we met through cuz back then, like before I joined the military, I went to church. Like I put all my free time in going to church because I don't know, I just didn't want to stay home. Like me and my mom's relationship is like we bump heads a lot. So anytime that I had away from the house was cherished. So I went to church and I met so many people, some from school, some out of school, and those are my friend groups. Um so here's how we reconnected. Like I said, I had friends from the high school who joined the church. And one of the friends, we were going to Bible study at the same time because we both joined the church around the same time. So we had to baptize around the same time. Anyways, I guess we have there's a baptism brother or baptism sister, something like that. And that's what we were, like baptism siblings, because we both baptized on the same day of the church. You know what I mean? And so I knew of him from school, but I never really known of him. So we started hanging out more, and he's the one who introduced me to. I'm gonna call him Aries. He introduced me to Aries, and this friend from the church, I'm gonna call him Kiwi, whatever. Kiwi introduced me to Aries because I didn't know where Aries met. I mean, lived, and everyone's talking about how everyone knows Aries except for me. Apparently, Aries is a party animal that I was the only one who didn't know of. So I started hanging out with Aries and started partying. Well, not necessarily partying, but I hung out with and just stay out of the house because he was a couple houses down. But whenever he did throw parties, I would take my ass home. Anyways, myself and Aries, we went out for a split second. We broke up because I kind of wanted him to mention my name in his social media pages because I wanted everyone to know that we were going out. But he didn't take our relationship seriously. Stop. He didn't take our relationship seriously, so we ended up breaking up and still hanging out as friends because we're cheating. Like we both cheat, like whenever, not like all the time. And then so being that we did cheat whenever we did, um, the 10th grade ex, what are we gonna call him? Libra. I'm sorry, that's mean, but Libra, um, would come by. Like I said, he was a party animal, so a lot of people would come by, like a lot. And I did not know because I didn't stay there all the time. Like I would go, just to like get some fresh air. I would go over there and I would come back home. I don't like staying where you know, like I have to eat, like I have to shower, I have to, poop or, use the bathroom. And I don't want to like, overstay my welcome or anything like that. Like I would probably go over there. I don't know if I would even spend an hour, and I would come. Anyway, Libra would start going over there and he started coming like more often and often and often. And that's how we got closer. And, we started hanging out. And I think being that Aries was cool with the fact that me and him were just friends, I ended up being closer to Libra. And me and Libra ended up just going out. How we came about going out was because like there was a lot of girls that was on him and I was like I don't know if we could like go out or whatever, but I think that he lied to me about who they were to him. And I was like, I mean, just be, honest. If that's the case, it's okay, just let me know. And I think that we formed a pact to just be like honest with each other, because I mean, I don't think it's that serious. Like we were young, you know. And I at that time I just kind of wanted a friend. I didn't really like care. I don't want to say I didn't care, but the whole purpose of me being out of the house was to like, build relationships with people. So I just kind of wanted to be in the know about what's going on, especially if I'm involved. Like I don't want to just be hanging around someone who's like dogging me out or anything like that. So I was like, just let me know. And then so we made it a pact on January 1st to just be like loyalty to each other, like 2016, I think. I don't know. It could have been 2017. Um the pack ended up failing a couple of months in because he was still doing, the stuff that I kind of told him that I kind of didn't like, doing. Like, let me know who those people are. Like, I understand because they could just be party people or they could be someone that he might be interested in. So, can you please stop? So, I told him to let me know. And he did not always let me know. So, when I had to find out on my own, I would confront him about the situation and just break it off with him. I'm like, okay, if you can't tell me this thing, because he would try to gaslight me. And one thing I hate, I'm not stupid. Like, I will just leave you alone. Like, you don't have to gaslight me into staying with you. That's weird. Like, just leave me alone so I can move on. I don't need you that much. Like, I'm not desperate. Anyways, so, what's it called? Hold on. So he would just gaslight me into staying with them. And honestly, I kind of party too. So, I mean, being together kind of benefited us more than being apart did. And I was loyal to him, as far as, I wasn't, that kind of party person like that. Like, I was just, you know what I mean? So I trusted him to kind of like be cool with me. Anyway, my ex would try to gaslight me into staying with him. And I mean, I still had my beliefs, so I would just be like, listen, I kind of don't want us to be together or whatever, but being that he kind of understood that I was a good girl and everything, so he would like literally bring his ass to my house, and my mom would be so happy she would let him in because she liked him. And I feel like, I don't know if I said this clearly in the last video, but I do feel like my mom's a colorist, because she treats Libra like, or no, no, no. She treats Aries like he's Libra. And if you know, Libra is um I wish I could explain this better, but it's not about them, it's what about they what they did to me. If you get it, you get it. Like Libra's a party animal. That's the most I can say. He's a party chief of staff, if that makes more sense. And he would basically be the the life of these parties. Anyway, and Aries was just, his mom was very cool to where as long as she was able to go to sleep around a certain time so she could wake up and go to work, and her room was very far away from the craziness. Like the backyard, her room was like in front of the house. So nothing was really going on in front of the house. Like, everything was kind of going on in the backyard. And as long as we didn't get too loud, you know, especially because Aries was mature. So like he was old enough to kind of keep the peace, you know what I mean? So he kept it peaceful, and literally he was a good manager. He cleans up nice. Like everybody was like, in charge of their stuff, and nobody made nothing crazy. Like no one was fighting, nobody, had disagreements or anything like that. So his spot was always a spot to be at from like 8 p.m. to like 12, not to be too crazy. It was lit. I mean, I don't know what time people started leaving. I know I left around like 10ish. I don't know. I don't know. It could have been later than that, but I don't know. It depends on what was going on in the next morning or the next day. Or if my mom was like, bring my ass home. Anyways, Libra didn't know that me and Aries dated. I don't think he knew. If he did, I don't think he understood like to like our friendship or our relationship. He just probably thought that I was a party person over there. Anyways, when me and Libra broke up, or we would have our little disagreements, and he would think that I was desperate. He would go walk off. You know what I mean? And I would be like, all right, and then he would like just not show up. Like I felt like he would gaslight the situation to where he was still, forgiven and was still able to keep coming through. You know what I mean? And so I kind of, sometimes I would be like, no, stop coming through. But when I stopped doing that, when I stopped saying stop coming through, he would stop coming through. And when he stopped, I felt like, okay, I was single. Like, I'm not going to chase you. So that's when myself and Aries would start hanging back out. Anyways, Libra would go around telling everybody that I'm smashing his brother, his homeboy, like I'm smashing the homies. And he just does, he didn't know. I don't know if he knew, but he was kind of the homies. It's just that a lot of people knew that me and Libra was together. They didn't know about me and Aries being together. Like nobody knew. The reason why nobody knew was because I was hanging out with Aries in the daytime. So I was around when Mom Dukes was awake. Shh. When his mom was awake. So, and people wouldn't be around when his mom's awake. Sorry about the sound. Every time I'm like talking, my baby want to talk with me. Anyways, so people wouldn't be around when his mom was awake. I would. And cuz I mean, like I said, I just wanted some fresh air to get out the house. I was okay with talking to, listen, not anybody. I wasn't talking to anybody, but I was talking to people who was cool, like people who I can trust, like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so people weren't coming over in the daytime. So they didn't know that I was over there in the daytime. You know what I mean? So they didn't know. So so me and Aries was messing around like secret. All right. So now it's like on. My baby only talks when I talk. The whole time when I'm not talking, she's not talking. She wants to help me tell the story like she was there. The child's only 1 years old. This story is at least like 5, 6, 7, probably more than that years ago. 2016 with 10ish, 9, whatever. Anyways, so oh, sure, it's so ghetto these stories. Mm-mm. My lip gloss is in the car, and I don't feel like going that far. I thought it was in my purse. It's in a cup holder. Sorry. Anyways, like I said, myself and Aries are hanging out more, and my ex, he's oblivious to it until he found out. He found out by um Aries told him. Aries told him that that myself and Aries were sleeping together. And it was funny because Libra was bewildered. He was like, "What?" So he came to me like he was confronting me. And I was like, "What?" It was only like 3 times. And he was even more mad because I guess Aries told him it was only once. Anyways, my ex was so shocked. So, like, when he found out that me and Aries was sleeping around, and I felt like he was so shocked that he tried to make it seem like I was just a whore or whatever as a good girl. And which was not the case at all. Like, I'm not no, whore. I was just really nice to someone who wasn't nice to me. And that's when I took my liberty back and started making me a nice again. You know what I mean? Or making me great again. How about that? Because why do you think that I have to stay with you and you're putting me down, gaslighting every time I tell you how I feel, and you're upset that I'm like, okay, F it. Like, all right then. You know what I mean? He was just making it seem like, oh, if it's that easy, you know what I mean, then anybody can get it. So that's why I felt like he was putting me in all of these situations where everybody was pushing themselves on me, and I mean pushing. Like I said, I don't really hang out with anybody else. Like, I don't really hang out with people. I had friends in high school, and these are the friends of the ex before I started going out with Libra. This was before Aries as well. I had an ex, we're going to call him Virgo, and I was with Virgo for about 2 years. We literally, I felt like he was like my first love. It was so much, but we both joined the military around the same time, and we broke up like after the military or during the military because we was at a point where marriage came up, and we could have easily gotten married, but I guess he felt like it was too permanent. So I ended up getting married to somebody else, and he also got married to somebody else, and that's neither here nor there. Just letting you know how much life I've lived before getting out of the military. Before my ex thought that, okay, just because I'm a good girl, I'm a simple girl. I mean, I am like, I'm simply normal. Like, I'm a girl. Like, I, you know, am a nice girl. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm not asking you to get my name tatted on you, even though I should be. You know what I mean? I'm just asking you to let me know what's going on so that I can know. You know what I mean? It's not even like, oh, I will cut you off for letting me know. No, it's I respect you more because you've let me know, instead of these girls literally laughing in my face. You know what I mean? So that's why I had to cut it. Like, I had to stop it. And he just felt like I was using him the whole relationship because he felt like, well, if I was able to move on that fast, then I must have been using him. Like, he's just oblivious because his mind is up every other girl's, behind, that he can't find my mind. Are we there? Are we there? Okay. So my ex Libra started putting everybody around me in situations where they would just start throwing themselves at me, start using, like, literally putting me in these awkward positions where I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. thinking that, oh, I should give up my, cooter so that these people could just like leave me alone. Like it was either give up my cooter or literally fight my way out of every situation. And I still fought my way out of every situation. Like I'm not giving myself up just because you think I should. What kind of situation, like that doesn't make, that's not, I don't care what you think. I am not giving my, like, I think that that's so weird that I had to be in that situation where I had to like like I had to crush my relationships with these people in order for me to keep my innocence. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm just saying like I'm not giving my kitty up just cuz you think I should by giving me this, giving me that, giving me this, giving me that. And my ex was the one orchestrating the whole thing because, and I know he was, because he is the party king as far as supplying the party. And a lot of people would literally do whatever he says because of course they would want a party. They kind of, it's like their escape, to chief and everything like that, and he was definitely supplying that and everything. So they would do whatever he said and he would chief them out anyways, because these people weren't, chief police like he was. You know what I mean? And like I said, he's the only ex I don't ever, I couldn't imagine getting back with. So I don't really care to kind of say all this information, but if you don't see me, all right. Cuz I'm speaking my truth. And the whole thing is the reason why I haven't been able to the whole time is because I've been gaslit. Like every time I every time I like want to move on with my life, there are people, and I'm gonna also point them out too later on. And there are people who repeatedly try to gaslight the situation by saying that I'm this and I'm not sober, or I'm, anxious, or I'm traumatized, PTSD, this and that, that and this, so that the truth is like lost in the wind somewhere, which doesn't really, of course, like no one really cares about my truth until I'm somebody, whoop de whoop. And that's why I'm saying I think I said this in the beginning of this video, but this video is not for anyone but me. It's for me to speak my truth so that I can kind of get it out of the way. As far as when I do want to move on, this is what I'm moving on from, like it's not in front of me anymore, it's behind me. You know what I mean? And so whenever someone tries to think that they can use it against me, it's gone. Like it's not there anymore. You know what I mean? Like this is the entirety of the whole situation as far as my view of it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm speaking my truth. My ex would put all these people in a position to where they can try to take my vagina, okay? Just to kind of tell everyone that I'm just a whore, because, and I do know that it's because he was hurt, because he did trust me, because he did trust me. That's why he played me. He did trust me, and he felt like, oh, I'm just another, that I'm just a nobody or whatever, just giving my stuff up. Like, I'm pretty sure he's just sitting here fabricating a story to someone who's wondering, hey, what happened to that one nice girl? He's just telling stories. So he's over here throwing in, oh, yeah, she's just a whore. She's nobody. She's just this. He's not going to say, yeah, I hurt her. He's not going to say, I played, I fumbled. He does not take, what's that word? What's the word that they want women to take? Accountability. He does not take accountability. He gaslights his way out of the situation. Well, I wouldn't have done this if you didn't. You know what I mean? Or he'll, okay, let's just change the subject. Are you hungry? Type, anyways. And whenever we were in public, Like my ex would definitely try to get me to be kind of like desperate or whatever. Whenever we were in public, I know this is mad random, but I just had to mention it. Whenever we were in public, like at Aries's parties, he would just flirt with these other people, and knowing that I wouldn't really flirt with anyone like in front of my quote unquote boyfriend that everyone knows about. Like I'm not like that. He might be like that, but I would be like, okay, I'm right here. Like I would just play it off. I'm not even gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna like, okay, or I'm just gonna mention something and be like mad, like slick about it, and nobody can really out slick my slick or outwit my wit back in those days. Um, except for him, like he would just embarrass me. He'll just be like, "Oh, you know what? You're acting up right now. Go home," knowing that it's like 5, 6, 7 p.m. Like, my night doesn't really end until like 10ish. Like I don't want to be home if I don't want to be home. So he would just use my home to my as a weapon. He's like, "Oh yeah, then just go home, just go home." And that's the thing, like he started like this was when like we would fight all the time about all the people. He would then embarrass me to keep me quiet. You know what I mean? Which was like I'm not that girl. I swear he got the wrong girl. And that's why he's trying to like change the story, change the narrative, because he did all this stuff to me and expected me to stay quiet. And like me taking my freedom back, he's fucking shocked. He shook. He shooketh. He's confused, baffled, confused. Like he didn't expect. He did not expect me to be the girl to take my freedom back, to speak out, to do none of that. He thought that I was gonna be all, oh, king, oh, daddy, oh, the problem was, I did love him, and I loved him in a way where I was his right hand girl. I did whatever he told me to do. I kind of uniformed him, like I complimented him, made sure everything. I kind of was like his secretary. I like made sure he was okay. You know, literally the way we slept like I can't kind of show you right now because my baby is on me, but literally we slept like almost in each other's like limbs. Like I don't know if he was ever closer to anybody as close as he was to me. And I don't think I'll ever get closer. Like my baby is close to me like that I was to him. And that's not gonna happen. I don't I don't think that I'll ever get that close to anybody else again. Well, I don't want to say that. I do think that like I said, we did love each other at one point, and I don't know, I just felt like he was really hurt. He didn't expect me to betray him the way that he betrayed me. So that's why he puts me in all these situations, and I literally right now I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 5 different situations that were on the top of my head. There were so many, and the other situations I didn't want to, like I trauma had pushed them away. You know what I mean? Like actually there's 6 situations, and I wish, like I'm just saying, it's so many people who sat there and tried to steal my lady parts from me using the dumbest forms, like just so that they can report back to him. And they were all his friends, so the only way I knew of them was from hanging out with him. One of the reasons why I knew it was him. But in my last video was how I know for a fact he's the one, like literally constructing for these people to play with me mentally, physically, emotionally, all kinds of ways, and keeping me as their friend so that they can go ahead and tell him all kinds of stuff, just trying to make me lose things. When I first got my vehicle, Like literally I everything that I can think of got manipulated into me losing or something. You know what I mean? Like that's not even the kind of person that I am to just lose a situation or to just like, play. Like I'm very careful. I'm a very careful girl. Anyways, I'm just letting you know that my ex played a lot of games. And so I guess this is part 2 and there is another part which kind of more defines why I know it's him who's like literally emotionally manipulating all of my like situations. Hold on. He's just making it so that I'm not able to sue him directly for emotional distress, but that's why he's using everybody to try to just like emotionally distress me to kind of keep me in circles, keep me, whoop de whoop, yada yada. So this video ended up being long. The next video, I'm sorry. And the next video, well, I tried to clarify some couple of things in this video as far as like, what made me know it was him and everything like that. I don't know. If you didn't get it or if I need to clarify some more, that's cool. I'll do that. And in the next video, I will let you know how I know about him going into telephones, like him using technology to help it enhance his situations or enhance him trying to manipulate anything I have going on. Bless you. And they sneeze you telling the truth. So, anyways, um, yeah. So I'll explain that to you in the next video. And get ready because this has a lot to do with old girl. Mhm. 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 People who just expect me to stay quiet. People who expect me to stay quiet or people who expect me to not know what's going on or to just me to stay confused or me to just look like I'm paranoid, you know? They just think that myself being isolated don't really have um grounds to speak to anyone about what's going on. Like I should just remain a victim. And it's going to be like, okay, if I remain a victim, it's going to be myself who put myself in that situation. How did I get there in the first place? Why am I there in the first place? And that's kind of how like the bigger story is that black women are in these situations. They're the most unprotected people because no one cares. They're going to be like, "Oh, I mean, I don't want to risk my name or my whatever I have going on to go save her. What is it going to do for me?" You know what I mean? Like if there's nothing behind it, like then there's nothing. And like if you can save a Caucasian person from somewhere and everyone's gonna applaud you. You save a black person from somewhere, people's gonna be like, well, you should have left them where they was gonna rot. They were gonna rot. They were gonna, you know what I mean? Like people just love struggle for us. Anyways, next video I'll be talking about how technology plays a part in oppression as far as me, and the trauma. So thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.